You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey Days fans, it's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and May Sweeps kicks off this Thursday, April 25th. So I have got 5 huge predictions for sweeps for you. Before we dive in though, please click subscribe if you have not and are not following us yet. And now let's dig in and talk about it. We've got predictions for Sloan and baby Jude, for Chanel and Johnny, for EJ and Nicole, for Li Shin and Gabi Hernandez, and also for Tripp and Wendy. And in case you don't know, sweeps is absolutely critical to keeping soap operas on the air, or in the case of this one, streaming. How many viewers and the ratings they get during the 4 times a year sweeps periods set the rates that advertisers pay and determine whether the network can afford to keep making the soap and how much money they can afford to spend so there's decent production value. If you didn't know it, sweeps 4 times a year, February, May, July, and November. So let's talk about these sizzling predictions for what we're hoping to see in this sweeps period that runs April 25th through May 22nd. My first prediction, I think Sloan Petersen is giving back that baby, and I think her marriage to Eric Brady is going to be wrecked. So this week, things take a stark and scary turn for Sloan. Eric is following the money trail, trying to figure out why they are so broke, and it leads him right to Leo Stark's suite at the Salem Inn. And even better, it looks like Sloan is going to be there in the suite with Leo when Eric shows up. And he's going to sling some accusations, but Sloan is going to do what she always does. She's going to lie and deny. But this is far from over, because the following week looks like May 1st. Eric and Sloan argue about money, and she has to cut Leo's purse strings, which he's not going to like. Eric flat out asks her if Leo is blackmailing her. I expect more lying and denying, because he certainly is. And remember, Leo promised he was going to keep blackmailing her until she gave back the baby to Nicole. Things are getting out of hand, because then Leo turns around and spills some tea to EJ DiMera that could wind up being big trouble for Sloan. Executive producer Ken Corday said Sloan finds a way to give back the baby, and with Eric sniffing around and the pressure intensifying, it's got to happen in May Sweeps, right? All right, my second prediction. I think Chanel Dupree DiMera may be pregnant and the baby at risk from radiation poisoning. Tuesday, April 30th, so next week, Chanel gets sick and Johnny and Paulina are very worried. You know, during their honeymoon out on the island at the Horton cabin, they were getting busy until Julie Williams showed up. And then we had the big snowstorm. Chanel got lost and Paulina broke out of quarantine to find her. She was radioactive. Of course, we knew that was already setting up another storyline, right? The thing is, most people wouldn't be that sensitive to Paulina's radioactivity. Normal, healthy adults generally are okay. I researched this at the time because I was very curious, but they are not supposed to be anywhere near a pregnant woman. Not at all. That's a big no-no. So I just wonder, when Chanel gets sick, initially, if it's morning sickness, and if she is indeed pregnant, this radiation thing could be a huge complication for a baby. Chanel keeps getting sicker as we head deeper into May. We'll have to wait and see why. But for a young woman like her, healthy and able-bodied, radiation shouldn't really affect her. But if she's got a bun in the oven or some other undiagnosed health issue, it could be a very, very big deal. My third prediction, Li Shin is alive, and that sets the stage for Gabi's release from prison. So we know that new Gabi is on the set filming. She has been for a while. Cherie Jimenez will play the role, as we leaked a while back right here, and her debut is set for June. That means May Sweeps lays the groundwork for her return. And that means she either needs an alibi or some other evidence to get out of prison for Li Shin's murder. She's still awaiting trial, but the bottom line is they need to address this. I have no doubt that Li Shin is alive and well and laughing his handsome butt off about his blackmailing ex-wife cooling her heels in Statesville prison. I am very certain he set her up. This whole thing screamed setup. And don't forget, Li Shin is very good friends with Dr. Rolf, and Rolf was in town. They have a long-standing partnership because Li Shin funds Rolf's twisted research. So yeah, I think that Li is going to be found alive, maybe by Wendy and Tripp because of some other spoilers I'm going to talk to you about in a minute. And there's some other big returns coming, and the groundwork for many of these returns is linked to May Sweeps. Kristen and Stefan dig in and try and figure out who might have killed Li Shin because they know Gabi did not. And then she's out of prison and home in June. And so I'm quite certain he is alive, well, and just a vengeful schemer. Our fourth prediction, Tripp and Wendy are going to leave town, and I wonder if they're going to find Li Shin back in Hong Kong. As part of this prediction, I am going to reveal some comings and goings stuff for you guys. So Wendy said the other day that her dad is sounding like himself again. And then Tripp and Wendy leave Salem on Monday the 29th. I think maybe they're going to Hong Kong to see her family. So I wonder if they find Li Shin with their parents in Hong Kong, not dead. I 100%, as I said, expect to find out Rolf and Li were conspiring. So Tripp and Wendy leave a couple of months before some other key exits, including Steve Burton's exit as Harris Michaels, which should be in June. So again, we're seeing groundwork leading up to that now. I wonder if Tamara Braun is going to be leaving as Ava Vitale as well. However, I don't think so. And here's why. So I have this recent snapshot to show you. It's from the 15,000th episode of Days of Our Lives. There were some faces notably absent. If you look on the front row, there's Victoria Grace, who plays Wendy. She's in the photo, but I don't see Lucas Adams as Tripp Dalton. And if you look on the back row, the very back row, Remington Hoffman is right there, the guy who plays Li Shin. So I am certain he's back and alive. Steve Burton wasn't in this pic because he had been gone. He was done filming in December, and this photo was taken earlier in April. So there are some faces that were blasts from the past that we knew were coming. You can also see in that photo Justin Kiriakis, Bonnie Kiriakis, Jack and Jen Devereaux, Sierra Brady, but not Ben or Alex. So I just wonder if Rob Scott Wilson missed picture day, because I do know he's still filming. We've got in that photo recast Gabi, Leo, Melinda, Stefan, Kayla, Patch, Stephanie, Sean, and Belle are back briefly. Everett is there, Jada, Rafe, Xander, Sarah, Marlena, but not John. And again, maybe just Drake missed photo day. Julie and Maggie, but no Constantine. Yay. I really hope that means that he is just gone. We have Eric, but no Sloan in sight, and of course, no Nicole. Ari Zucker is not going to be back to Days unless something drastic changes. You'll also see Roman and Kate, Eli and Lonnie, Abe and Paulina, Tate, Holly, and their two teen friends. In the mix are some of the big comebacks for Bill Hayes' tribute with Doug Williams' funeral, including Gloria Loring as Liz Chandler, Marie Cheatham as Marie Horton, Steven Schnetzer as Stephen Olsen. Other funeral comebacks also in the photo. There are some producers and head writer, showrunner Ron Carlivati. So that picture gives you a lot of information. You should pause and look at it if you just want to browse through. All right, my fifth and final prediction, EJ and Nicole's marriage crumbles. Because we are getting closer to the exit of Ari Zucker as Nicole Walker DiMera, they've got to have a storyline reason to oust her. She wrapped in December. That means her exit should be probably sometime in June. Meanwhile, we know her daughter Holly remains in Salem. We know EJ and Eric are still there. They wouldn't let the baby leave with her, depending on who knows they're the dad at the time of her exit. So the question is whether Nicole dies or leaves town, and the exit storyline should be heating up in Sweeps. Pressure's mounting on Sloan to give back that baby, and she will. And then we have Nicole's other issues. One of them, she thinks EJ's the dad, and he's not. Second, Nicole has no idea the crucial role EJ played in her daughter's overdose by ignoring Stefan and letting Clyde wreak havoc. So with Nicole starting a new job at The Spectator as a reporter next week, EJ is going to try to get her to write articles trashing Paulina because he wants to try and take her mayor job. EJ is rapidly getting even more out of control. Eric is figuring out Sloan's lies, and I just feel like Nicole is going to find out some things she's not going to like about EJ that puts her marriage at risk and lays the groundwork for her exit. Those are all of our May sweeps. Subscribe if you haven't. Definitely drop your comments and come back soon. And as always, it's Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.